Kosovo, please.
Ambassador Grenell, clearly you were effective here as the special envoy to these talks between Serbia and Kosovo. But I wanted to ask you about another initiative you led. Last year, you kicked off the Trump administration push to decriminalize homosexuality.
Yeah, I'm going to just talk about Kosovo and Serbia. I don't know if you can find it on a map, but this is atrocious. I have to tell you guys, you might be too young to understand what this issue is about. Maybe the older journalists should step up and say, this is a big deal. This is a big issue. I'm astounded at what happens in Washington, D.C., and especially in this room. I got to tell you, get substantive. Maybe it's too complicated of an issue for you all.
Rick, respectfully, this is the first time we've had the opportunity to speak with these individuals.
Okay, but today's about Kosovo and Serbia. Let's take a little time and talk about this 21-year issue, Peter. I mean, 21-year issue. We're getting the same questions that are all politics. You guys don't understand what's happening outside of Washington, D.C. People aren't listening to you anymore. It's really a crisis in journalism. And I think it's because people are too young to understand issues like Kosovo and Serbia.
Right, can I ask
How about a
Rick,
substantive
you,
question?
Please? I don't think any of us came here for a lecture about our questioning.
Okay, well, I didn't come
But the
here
question
to
I
not
would like
talk
to
about
ask
anything
you,
about Kosovo
the
and
question
Serbia.
I would like to ask you is it accurate to say that it's full economic normalization? There was some ambiguity as to whether that is what the deal is about. And
he may not have come here for a lecture, but that's certainly what he got, and he got the message.
What do you mean by full?
well, that's the question for you.
No, it's a question for you. What's your definition of full? This is economic normalization for whatever the two parties could bring together. A whole bunch on rail, a whole bunch on water, a whole bunch on different industries.
So more accurate to say working towards economic normalization, is that fair?
No, I think it's incredible economic normalization. Air, rail, motor, opening borders, a whole bunch of industries. So again, I don't know what's missing, and I defer to you to say what's outside of economic normalization that's not included here. You tell me.
I'm genuinely asking so that we can write our stories accurately.
The media would not know how to write an accurate story if their lives depended on it.
Yeah. Do we say that they
I would
have
say
achieved
it's
an
economic
normalization deal?
What changed from, a few months ago when they pulled down the tariffs to today? What is the substantive difference?
Have you read the agreement?
You haven't put the agreement out.
It's out.
Another reporter has not learned his lesson. Do not mess with this man. Rick Grenell shows up to a press conference to talk about a specific issue. That's the issue he's there to talk about, nothing else. Another question that needs to be asked, why was this reporter asking him about an initiative that he was involved in to decriminalize homosexuality?